massive pickup by Alabama, man, with Hayward committing to the Alabama Crimson Tide, man. Good to see him commit back to the Alabama Crimson Tide because we got him out of high school. Then he flipped to Michigan. Now he's back at Bama, and I think this is an amazing pickup by the Alabama Crimson Tide in this portal cycle. Coach Al, man, how big is this for Alabama and their O line, and just for the offense? Period.
Yeah. Hey, look, Ty Haywood, talent wise, he checks all the boxes. Now, as a guy that plays his position, we always talk about what we like to talk about is fit. Does he fit what you're trying to do? Uh, Looking at his film coming out of high school, yes, he does. He has those kind of things and abilities that will fit what we like to do in terms of movement. Uh, Using the benchmark of what we saw in Washington, we can't use the benchmark of what we've seen at Alabama with what DeBoer has been successful at Fresno State, at Washington, in terms of the run game incorporated into their offense. When you look at the personnel from those two past programs where he's been successful, uh, this body type does fit. Now, whether or not all the intangibles rolling up under that, so he can truly be successful in his game at Alabama, remains to be seen. But I'm excited, totally excited. We've been chatting about it all day. Um, the guy obviously wanted to beat Alabama for a reason, and maybe he got the bag to go to Michigan and got there and found out, it's not what I thought it was. Hey, let's piggyback on top of that. The guy that transferred to Michigan, Justice Haynes, guess what? He left. Okay, Michigan. Now, of course, Sharon Moore had all those issues and everything like that, but maybe Justice gets up there and finds out the grass ain't greener, and he's gone. I don't think he's coming back to Tuscaloosa, but that's two guys that had Alabama ties that went to Michigan, put their toe in the water, left. So moving on past that, talking about this guy as it relates to Bama, um, the good thing is if he puts pen to paper truly, because we've seen some guys say they commit to Bama and then flip flop his pull. Hey, but let's just assume that he's coming to Bama. Now we talk about the mix with offensive line. We talk about the guys that we know about on the current roster who could potentially fill those spots. How about this? Two Michigan guys on the O line, two former Michigan, the center that we brought in. Okay. Now they know each other. We always talk about the 4 C's of success, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that kind of continuity, familiarity from those two guys with the culture at Michigan being a Big Ten team, you running the football, may bleed over into the room.
Yeah.
Our time, we talk a lot of it. To me, we could talk the X's and O's, but football is more than that. It's the nuances. It's the chemistry. Okay. That's... And but I'm excited, man. I'm pumped that the guy would be even, talked about in this language that he's being predicted 100% to Bama. But we can go in about, where he might would fit on the O-line, those kind of things. What positions, if we wanted to throw out a pseudo depth chart of what we think might be, we can do that too. But you ask me my opinion, I like him. I liked him when he came out of high school.
Yeah, man.
He would have some developmental issues initially, but he's a freshman. So.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, man. Just him committing to the Tide, man, is so major for us, man. I'm super excited by it. I was excited about it when he committed out of high school. It was his favorite school, and I believe, like, of course, the bad play is a big part in what we do in life. And we know as adults, you being older adults, so you know way more than me. But you got to understand, man, that bag is not always the best thing, like, for you.
That's
but
right.
Do you feel comfortable there and all that? Was this worth it? Clearly, I don't know what went down for him, so I can't really say was it worth it for him to go up there. But clearly, I'll say no right now. But I know, man, his heart you could just tell his heart was always at Alabama. A lot of these guys he made relationship with when he was going through the process, and then just taking his time and making this dealing. So man, I'm just super happy to have him back on the squad with these guys and him and Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll. It's all three of these guys are super athletic offensive linemen.
Yes.
And
Yes.
man, and they can do a lot of things. So it's gonna be a lot of moving around. Like I don't know who's going. Maybe Michael Carroll stays at the right tackle, uh, and who's left tackle between Ty and Jackson Lloyd. Do we put Ty on the inside, Jackson on the outside? It doesn't matter. Uh, but I know Ty has these long arms. He's super quick. Like I said, he's athletic, man. A lot of these things that Alabama need. I wish Proctor would just had quick feet just like him. So Prado would probably be top 3 pick if he had quick feet like that, man.
Man, I'm telling you, yes. Yeah, we know he's effective in the run game. The guy, once he gets his hands on you, man, he's gonna move you.
Yeah.
You know, I went over to I think it was 24/7 or whatever. They had an NIL value placed on Haywood coming out, 300 and some $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to Michigan. 300. It was north of 350. Okay. Now, does that mean anything? Not really.
No.
How do they even know that? I don't know. But maybe that's the kind of money we talking here. Okay,
Yeah.
for a guy like him. But like I said, one of the things when he was coming out, if you go back to a lot of the online services and look at some of the film on Huddle and things like that, they try to we do sometimes, we try to get a guy and say, what's his match? Who do we compare him to in terms of what projections might be? And Cody Ford was a projection for Ty Haywood. Cody Ford, lineman at OU, Oklahoma, who was a guy that was used both inside the guard and at tackle. And when you look at Ty, when he was playing in high school, a lot of his huddle was run plays. It mean when he moves you, he gets his hands on you. He can actually physically move you because he's long and angular. He plays with pretty good leverage.
Yeah.
His situation is going to be pass protection because he didn't get many reps last year. So if I'm the O-line coach at Alabama, I'm gonna get you in. Yeah, you a tackle, but we may roll you in like we did Mike Carroll this year.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would put Mike Carroll at right tackle and put Ty at right guard and sandwich him in between that center we're going to get, that guy from Michigan who has some snaps. Now you got an inexperienced guy between guys who's played a little bit. That's what they did with Mike Carroll this year. So he wouldn't be on the edge out there not getting the calls. So the closer you're into the center, the easier you're going to get the calls. And then as he progresses, Mike Carroll had projected to a guard, not tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So you flip them. Okay. That's only if Jackson Lloyd can play left.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that has no experience. And then Will Sanders, who I'm penciling in at left guard, that's who I penciled in left guard already automatically.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been playing left guard last year. Love Dewberry, but Will Sanders can move you. He's a dog. He was more athletic. He was twitchier. It's just a little bit inexperienced in pass protection because of what he played in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he's developing, and if he comes up the curve like he is, I think he gonna be an all-conference guard. I think, my opinion. So now the problem with it is the most important position with a brand new quarterback you're breaking in at left tackle. Do you put Jackson Lloyd out there at left tackle and let him go through the same learning experiences that we saw Proctor go through as a freshman, starting at left tackle in the SEC? Now, when you look at Proctor versus Jackson Lloyd, athletically, it ain't even close.
Yeah.
Jackson Lloyd is a superior athlete over Mike Proctor, over Caden Proctor. Okay. So that's the thing. That's why I know they're probably going to bring in another guy, an upperclassman. Okay. They may even try to go after that guy that was South Dakota State or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has snaps. He's played. I don't think that he's a better guy because when I looked at him, he doesn't look like an SEC tackle. He just doesn't physically look the part. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
think he can play at that level, but can he measure up week in, week in, week in SEC and hold up against those guys with his body type? I think, but what he can do, he can add experience to the room, you know, and kind of bring Lloyd up and challenge him and push him in practice, you know. And if Lloyd have a tough game, bring the guy. Maybe he's serviceable. Who knows?
Yeah.
But you got to go after a more experienced guy or two on the offensive line and say, hey, get you your 7 guys because we're bringing in some freshmen too.
Of
That the
course.
kid from Louisiana, that's a tackle. Okay. So you
Mhm.
still got that room to manage. I do think this. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna say it, and I'm kind of like Christian Miller. Former coach. I don't be calling for coaches' jobs. You know what I'm saying?
No, of
I
course.
don't do that. But we talk about production. That's a two-sided coin, right? The coin has two sides. The players
Mhm.
got to produce. The coaches got to produce. In the last 2 years, what we've seen, um, you know, coach may not be at the right place right now for him to be successful as an O-line coach. He may need to be in another place in another system at another school to be successful, and that is real. Okay, I'm talking about Coach Kapilovich. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So I think once all of this next week goes past, and we get who we're going to get for now, because you can still get them after the portal closes if they're still in the portal. I think you're going to see some movement on the staff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Mika Pilovich, but I think now another thing we theorized, Brisky. The Rams are playing tonight, and right now they're trailing Carolina. Right, Bryce Young's ball. Okay,
Mhm.
I got it up on the other screen. That young man's ball. But the tight end coach is Scott Huff.
Mhm.
Rams. If they go out tonight, Scott Huff could be in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, man, and I think that will help because we know how they won that is it called a Joe, I forgot the Moore Award.
Joe Moore. Joe
Joe
Moore.
Moore Award, and he was a Joe Moore Award winner with all those guys like at Washington.
Yeah.
So imagine what he can do with a a lineup like this, man. Like
Right.
Parker Bressel was part of that group.
That's right.
And so man, that would be tremendous, especially they comparing Ty Hayward to Tyler Smith
Yeah.
the Cowboys. That's some high praise. They say remind them of Tyler Smith. So I think that'd be a big pickup. So what you find uh some closing words on this, like for Ty being committed to the Tide.
Excellent pickup. 100% excellent pickup. I think he has, by just default, just everything surrounding the situation, Brisky. The young man, probably has a lot to prove.
Yep.
Knowing that, man, you know what? I should have been here last year. I could have played and helped this offensive line. If Alabama was his favorite team, he probably didn't like to see us go out the way we did this year with the running game, knowing he could have been a major factor. Okay. So now he's probably come in like a house on fire, man, just working his butt off. Because see, one thing about Jackson Lloyd, he's like playing in high school about 285.
Mm-hmm.
We get reports now Jackson Lloyd is about 305.
Yeah.
He's added functional weight, probably functional strength. And the same thing probably happened to Ty when he went up to Michigan. He's probably gotten over that 300 mark too, 305. So you're looking at tall, lean, fast guys that got long arms, great feet. I'm loving all of that for us, frankly, all of it.
Yeah, man. So y'all let us know, man. How happy are y'all with Ty Hayward committing to the Tide? What's your thoughts? How you think he's gonna play for us? And just let us know down in the comment section, man. What other guys you expect Alabama to go after? And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Later.